Whenever you are.
Alright, you ready?
Yeah.
Alright, so how's it going, guys? I got KSI FuzzyMeep 7 here. We're gonna be asking them questions for the day. So, what's up? So KSI FuzzyMeep 7, what was your favorite sport growing up in life?
Oh, hi guys. It's Fuzzy Me. My favorite sport?
Yes, sir.
Uh, like to play or to
Just anything
watch?
to play or watch. What'd you love watching or playing?
Uh, I don't know. Like I just watched wrestling. I realized that may not but I was also a wrestler in high school, and then I played like the traveling New Hampshire soccer team for many years when I was younger. It was probably like soccer and like amateur wrestling slash pro wrestling, and then I don't watch any other sports.
Oh, okay. I don't really watch wrestling myself, so I wouldn't be able to go
No, I mean, like, I was
bring a
like
long topic with
boxing,
that.
UFC, and stuff. I always like the 1v1 stuff,
Yeah.
especially even like, I like soccer, but we lost. I remember losing a tournament that was like a huge tournament, New England wide, whatever. And we lost, not in overtime, but like, time gets extended in soccer when it's
Mhm.
stopped, whatever. So
Yeah, because stop
we lost
time
by
go.
one
Yeah.
point, and it was because one of the guys fucked up my team, and it killed me. So after that, I started doing wrestling because if I lost at wrestling, it was my fault. If I won at wrestling, it was my victory. I didn't have to rely on anyone else.
Yeah.
That was always kind of like my mentality going forward.
Yeah. On to the next question. So, if you know, what was your dream job? Like, if you was age of
All right, my question is always long-winded. I remember when I was a kid, and there's a video, like, camcorder video when we were younger, and my mom said, what do you want to be when you're older? And I was like, my answer was just a worker like dad. That was my goal: job, work, family. But fire my dream job as a kid. That and being politics. Politics haven't happened yet, but I have been on fire department for 13 years and currently a lieutenant and about a month out from finishing my paramedic. So, hoping wood within the next 2 years, I will have fulfilled once. And then a little older, I'd hopefully like to go into some politics.
oh, okay. Um, what treats your mind politics? I
Just
messaged
always
you about it.
been really how people work. I mean, it's probably less politically younger, but as I got older, and especially in KSI, like learning, growing in KSI, like seeing how much like one person can make a difference, or a few people can, or how much like just an idea, except if pushed correctly, can really change things. And I see a lot of politicians as selfish, or they go like their dream job as a kid is to go become a politician, but like they go to school to become. They don't. A lot of people become career politicians and
See the
they
outside of
don't the world.
yeah, they don't.
I mean, like it's yeah. I don't want to dismiss anybody because obviously there's some incredible politicians. Obviously, the political landscape is fucking crazy. Even more so in the last decade than ever before. But yeah, it was always the idea that like anybody. My theory is anyone who do politics to become never shouldn't be a politician. Someone in KSI who joined to lead KSI. That's not how you find people about members of KSI or the citizens of America. If their goal is to be in charge, then they're the wrong person. Their goal should be to help, to assist, to lead, to train, to better, and cream rises to the top. And those are the people who should move on in the political world. And whether I do something local, like a local select, or if I try to do something, like my goal is not to lead. My goal is just to do as much as I can for other people because I think the system's abused a lot.
yeah.
And I mean, I'm also not even Republican or Democrats. A third party probably has no chance, at least for the next probably 10, 20 years. But I don't know. I may go that route. That's just always something that's fascinated me, and it's always something that I've always been interested in. Pretty good at reading people, and pretty good at reading scenarios. So just literally as cheesy as it sounds, just to like help people out and better people. I mean, like I've seen or what I've done with K, just me by or any stretch of the imagination, but like literally having a team, having a crew, having a big group of people that are oriented towards one goal. It's just incredible. It's incredible what you can do with just just a few people. there's 10,000 people, you're several million people in the state. All it takes is a few. It's like the only made a difference has been a few people. Not like few as in like few individual, but like few people idea, few people move the concept through it. For a huge group of people, it's never a huge rally or a riot at. It's always been single that changed the world. It's best to help out people.
All right. Do you see yourself having any kids in the near future or a wife?
Yeah, I'd probably have some little carbon copies of myself. Yeah, I could imagine getting married. I haven't not one yet, but
Who's your right one?
I'm one player, and yep, no, I'd love to have a bunch of little fuzzies running around.
Lord. What's your ideal wife? Like, what's your
One that can mentally stimulate me, have a conversation, and they're healthy. I don't care about looks, as long as they're and physically healthy.
Yeah, so guys, Fuzzy's gonna be looking for a while, maybe next 10 years. He's gonna be looking for a little bit because men just aren't mentally stable. But yeah,
And I'll test the fields, test the waters.
pull up Tinder,
Team Tinder, been friends before, friends again.
friends again, be friends with Tinder, I guess. Where do you see yourself? Where do you see yourself the next in life?
I don't know.
Wherever it takes you. All right.
Again, hopefully something political, realistic, but if that happen, definitely on a fire department. 20 years, get vested, 2 days a week, 8 days a month. They'll become paramedics. The fire service is a bunch of Class A persons, literally the ones up in the fire service, begrudging things and things. But that would be fun. And whatever. And again, KSI, and another thing, and a lot of, and it's not so as much now. Previous time, departments around. It's, well, this used for 50 years. Why would we change? It's like the stupidest line I've ever heard in my life. I usually go back to be like, yeah, well, slavery worked too for a while for people. And now maybe think improve, make better, and move on. So,
Amen.
I also can't, I get in trouble a lot.
You learn from it. Something. If you could improve one.
My time management, esteem. I have a very fragile self-esteem. Always acted, always get off topic. Things. I'm very poor. Or I like write everything. I try to stay really on. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, geez, and anybody here ever brought up an idea, whatever. We start talking about the idea, another conversation. Always rear back to that, but it could be an hour long. It's control. I do need to work on my time and like self-esteem. Someone says anything about, not always, it's where I instantly get pissed off and I can't control it. It's there.
FuzzyMeep.
What's up, KSI? First kind of made this. I made it in 2011. The first history show. Someone, you all want to say thank you to Fuzzy doing all this work. Comfortable. And why did this? I was just any of that. I just knew I should do it. Could do like anything. Size esteem thing. So it's something I've tried to compliment. But I always divert. I always avoid. There's a lot of people back. So it's like a become an elitist. It's kind of easy to do. I've gone on ego divisions calls. Gone the reverse where, and people say thank you. I'm like, I can do. It's only insulting them thanking me. It's dismiss their opinion on me, which is rude and
Sure, thank FuzzyMeep. I do.
That's what it is. I was like, no, this makes me like, don't. I was like, you guys don't. And I've done a lot, and you should be. But it's easier just to like know myself and only think about the community. But then the trait I want to see moving up. You take as little of the praise as possible and give out the most negative and try not to distribute that. Like, if I feel like it goes right, it's the did. So I go ground.
So if you could change one thing you did experience, what would you change?
Well, me, I'm not going to give you the literally change everything. Thing I'm lessons from. I also think because I would not have ever learned those without doing them. Double-edged sword. Who I am because I've made. So I'm better today, therefore I can make better decisions than I would today. But at the time, I also would not be the person unless I made that right previously. So, nothing. If it was on an individual basis, you literally every single thing I've ever done in my life. But again, in a real lingo back day, and I those same fuck ups or do this promote the wrong or put faith in people, whatever, I wouldn't have this to that person. I sort of go with nothing.
Expecting anything else from. I was gonna follow that with a different question. I'd probably get this out of you. So, what was your high school and high school that you thought was cool that you?
What in high school?
What was like the thing that you thought was cool but wasn't in high school, but you thought it was?
Oh, I don't know. Getting and like I've always listened. I've been like people who are like, but I'm not a douche hipster because that would be the opposite. I liked a bunch of islands, like all my favorite bands from like these music, but you know, a lot of that people listening to rap. I'm listening to the Stones. I'm listening to the Beat and Bird. Or not that cool, but it was just different.
That's kind of
And
music.
I used to fuck with people a lot in high school, just myself. Same thing nowadays, but to a lesser extent. We used to always, you know, every once in a while. I'd put a desk in the hall, and I'd put it in like sideways and completely inconvenience people. Get there early because I got rides, like here and whatever. People walk around the desk. No one would ever move it. They would, and I always thought that was thing. Literally, probably thought me. It was like all these people would not hear myself through your mic, which is distracting. I used to have a Spanish teacher. He used to protect me. He'd yell at me, whatever. So then, this is mean now, but it was. So I'd like to say I was like, I'm gonna get an orange. You know how you peel once you get like the little white stuff for fingernails.
Yeah, you get on fingernails and stuff. Yeah.
So then, I made it look like I had my hand down by my side texting, but I was just picking the shit out of my face from the orange. So my upset at me texting, and I was like, you know, and he's like, I don't believe you. And then I picked up my backpack, took out my phone. I was like, look, it's my backpack. I was cleaning my files, and I literally did it just to fuck with him. Again, you know, it's like not thinking back on it, but what I did. So
sounds like some shit.
And he sent me to the principal's office. So then I got to go tell the principal that because I was picking our nails, and the principal, she's like, oh, whatever. He's a little sit in the library or the cafeteria for the rest of the period. It's like, perfect. And I literally did it because he yelled at me for texting the day. It's ridiculous to think about it, but that. So yeah, casually for like trying to psychologize people was my amusement. I think that's cool, but I did.
It's kind of fun with you. Not even going along.
Yeah, I enjoy telling my psychology teacher. And that's fascinating. Tell me more. And that's when I was like, all right. And I looked at him, and he thought all my shit, when most others I'd have just thought me as a.
So, who was your first high school sweetheart?
Her name was Kristen, and I ended up being with her. She was like 3 of me. I met her on like the fire department on the Explorer post with me. That's the junior. Like I said, that lasted quite a bit. It was a bit of puppy love, and then whatever. Many years later, she cheated on me, and that was.
Dang. I mean, at least you pulled someone.
That much was happening. Got demoted as a general because I said midget when describing that said girl. And they're like, that's prejudice or that's offensive and absolute. Those are the words she uses to describe how tall she is. She's a half inch and promoted me. Divisions.
That's fucking great. Oh, Fuzzy out here talking about midgets. It's great. Love it. Someone that was 3 years, but I mean, she was. So I mean, does she qualify as a person or half a person? I'm just kidding.
I don't know. She's a little bit over, so you know, half of us, half an inch.
Right,
Just great dating a girl like beer.
I mean, yeah.
Just saying.
Cool. I mean, you also wait until you're 18 to have your first girlfriend. What's your first car around? I'm gonna guess you used to drive around a little Pontiac.
No, I had a green Honda 5-speed.
Oh, even worse.
I think it was fucking awesome. You're like, I still wish I had it. I got a Ford Taurus now, and it's miserable. I mean, it never dies,
just
but I hate it.
You're like, it's just
having a standard.
Why don't you get one then?
I will be. That's definitely my. But I'm also incredibly frugal, so I'm not going to buy another car until this one of death. And this one's.
You wake up, nothing happens to. Fuck.
Yeah, it just it's like 3 years now in the running. I might have oil one time and happens.
No, I
not die.
I done my that way and the problem. Nah, that thing's still fucking running, dude. Like it's nothing. Like I'm telling you, I think the television's lying to us when they say people thing won't die.
Big conspiracy, and all you sheeple believe it.
Yeah. Oh. So what do you do in your time other than KSI? Like, you enjoy?
I volunteer in my fire department. I had 13 years. So at the time, this wouldn't be free time, but paramedic for the last years. I'm just about to finish it, finally. Get a bunch of time. Watching movie shows and read. I think last year for shoulder surgery, so all I could do every day was do nothing. So I read like all 5 Game of Thrones books. New World, fucking It, and King one, the one where he smashes the legs in. The fuck's he? So,
Yeah,
just, like,
I don't know any
you
of those books, so you know. Tell me it was
Yeah,
fucking
like just whatever,
shitstorm, and I'd
reading,
believe
watching,
you.
it's like psychological movies. Like this movie Schenectady Work, which is just a movie with Philip Seymour Hoffman in there. And it's so many layers to it. You've watched it like 10 times, and it's always fascinating.
All right, I guess it is. What makes you? Like, what makes?
I don't know what that question means.
Like, what makes you you?
What makes me me? I make me me.
All right, Fuzz. Characteristics, like ones that you've already explained, make you.
I don't know. I like compared to a lot of others around, especially in the community or wherever. I think I just a little differently. I tend to like I start like little things irk the shit out of me, and I get like depressed thinking about like little problems. And optimistic about specific things, but I'm crazily optimistic about the big picture because I know subconsciously that the little things don't always matter as much as the bigger picture. And I see a lot of people get hung up on, it's gonna sound bad, but like, rules and stuff like that. And a lot of people look at rules like I always look at them as, right, these are my perimeters. How can I work around?
Right.
I remember coming up in KSI, and again, and it's just like, I don't know,
It's like if I
a
don't
little
do
intuitive, but that's what it was. Like, I remember someone being like, I was probably a co-founder, founder, and someone's like, you can't promote him to general yet. He's not, he hasn't been in long enough. And I was like, all right. Like, hey, man, you're still my first captain, but you're going to be a general in training. You can change your motto to general in training, and you're going to do the general's job. And then once you hit your time requirement, we're going to make you general. Like, that's it. I even did that. So I had a couple captains at a general leave once. I want to say it was FuzzyMeep.
Fuzz
And I went interviewed every lieutenant, and the last captain I had, and one of the lieutenants really caught my attention. His name was Chronic. I haven't been friends with him almost 10 years later, and he was like a lieutenant. I don't know, on the list on how in theory he's supposed to get a job. And that's what I told him. I said, all right, man, I'm gonna make you general in training. Weeks. And I want you to do A, B, and C. 2 weeks will reevaluate you. And that dude ended up becoming like a division leader because he did exactly what I wanted him to do. Not talk to this person and say these phrases. But I gave him his promotion, which most people would start with that last captain remaining and then go to the first lieutenant. And then, they wouldn't go to the second lieutenant right away. But I wasn't doing it based on.
That's how it should be.
And I work
though.
with this person.
Just because you're a first lieutenant doesn't mean the fourth lieutenant, like the first, second, third, fourth lieutenant are just there but to fill in spaces. That fourth lieutenant could be
all the same job.
Yeah,
and like the captain got a little butthurt. At the end of the day, the captain was not going to bring the squad where I needed him to bring the squad. When I talked to him, he gave me the text. When I talked to the other kid,
he gave you fat.
Gave me like his philosophy and gave me why he wanted to be better and what to do with the squad, not just, fill the ranks, recruit some members.
Yeah,
he wanted to create a family. He wanted to create an environment.
Yeah.
And and that's good for some people. I'm not going to down anybody because whatever. And I work differently, and a lot of my decisions work out that great. But this one, and that's just how I look at it. And it's like that thing. You somebody. You don't give someone the schematics on how to vote because you want the ocean. I mean, you paint a picture and make them want to be and go for the ocean. and they'll build the boat on their own. I butchered the fuck out of that, but that's like the theory I work with. As I don't need somebody to tell me how they're going to do it step by step, because I've been a general, I've been a captain, I've been a division leader, I've been a senior, I've been a director. I don't care about that. I already know. I'm glad that you is an important,
and we need to think like that.
Clearly. But yeah, I need people who think outside.
Yeah.
Who don't look at A or B, but C, D, E, F, and G.
And don't always look at the rules as we gotta follow this, like, hold till we die. Doesn't always work. Sometimes you have to think outside the box to save a squad. You know, maybe once you need that, squad might need a whole entire different layout rather than what the normal squad would need. People don't see that kind of picture though. But
no, I mean, different everywhere differently. You know, I wish I was more organized. I could keep my schedule. Again, you know, I mean, I've talked about my flaws, and other people have those as strengths. So their flaws are my strengths, and work with people well, and that's what for. Yeah, like I'll give you an example. Like just in my real life, a few years diagnosed with celiac. I can't eat gluten. I can't eat dairy, soy. Like
yeah,
that's
you're
like
struggling with dairy.
A crazy amount of food products. And my sister also has this, and not the other. And she looks at it and says, "Wow, I can't eat pizza. I can't eat that. I can't eat that." When I look at it, I say, "Wow, I guess I'm going to be eating a lot more, and a lot more eggs, and a lot more bacon." And like I look at
you can eat pizza,
and I'm like, I don't have a choice. Oh, yeah. I mean, this gluten is whatever. It's not as good. Gluten-free pizza that's also free. You're basically getting tortillas with tomato sauce on it. Isn't bad. It's good. But I mean, they're like, yeah, it sucks. I'm like, they go buy a $7 steak and a couple potatoes and some.
Yeah.
It's all about how you look at shit. If you live into positives, you hide the bad, accentuate the good. To take care of the bad but look at life. If you're looking at it in all the negatives, and I see this a lot. Again, not as much a couple divisions out there. Who will sit and just like talk negatively about the situation. And no one ever talks positively. No one ever like, well, we can't do this. Let's do this. Well, this has happened. This person is not ready for this job, so we're stuck. The fuck